Hey YouTube, I'm doing this video before I go to bed. I just watched a video on 3i Atlas and they were saying that it's mostly nickel, or it has very large nickel composition, which makes sense because of its colour. This is my predictions as to what it probably is. Well, not what it is, obviously it's a nickel comet, that's obvious now. That was covered in carbon because space is so cold, so probably flew through carbon gas clouds and whatnot before it got here, so that probably stuck to it. So it might have started as a meteorite, large meteorite, or meteor, and asteroid, whatever you want to call it. And then it basically, after that, flew through some dust, got some ice stuck to it, and carbon, and yes, and yeah. So my predictions as to what it is, like where it came from, is pretty simple. So basically, what I'm thinking is it can't have come from a black hole. So it kind of got flung off by a black hole, because that's so unlikely. It's not. I mean, nothing really even gets close to a black hole and survives. It just gets stripped apart. I mean, black holes strip the helium and hydrogen atoms, like not gas, I guess, but the literal atoms. It strips the atoms off stars. So I'm not sure how anything like that could throw a meteorite made of nickel. Even though nickel is heavier than those items, I mean, it's proven that black holes are very, magnetic. So we have to assume that the magnetic properties of the black hole are stripping the stars, right? So that's basically one of the elements that is happening there. Maybe there's more to it than that. Like, obviously there's the gravity effect and the speed that the thing spins at and throws stuff around because of its mass. But basically, yes, cat, we see you. But yeah, so what I'm thinking is, due to its speed, because it's basically double the speed of what a regular comet sort of travels at, I'm thinking most likely it's thrown off towards us by two things, or one of two things, or both even. A large star, maybe because of its size, makes things spin faster. So it come from a large star. That's probably the most likely thing. That's probably like 99% what it actually is. And it just got ejected. Maybe it crossed the path of a planet or something, and the planet basically changed its trajectory in orbit, and off it goes into space. Something like that. Or something happened in its, solar system that basically pushed it out of the solar system. Other option is that it came from a star that went supernova, like Betelgeuse, and that's it. It got thrown off after that. Don't think that's likely though, because we haven't tracked its path to anything like that yet. I'm sure it can be done, and it probably will be, but I mean, it can only go in a straight line, so you only really have to see which direction it came from and sort of trace it back to its home star. So yeah, could do that. I think it's originated in the Milky Way. I don't think it's come from anywhere else. I don't know, like we're in a void in space, like a giant void. So to say that this thing came from even further than that is so unlikely it's not real. Okay, it's not aliens. We can rule that out. It's definitely not aliens. I don't care what anyone says. It's not aliens. It's a comet. All right. There's no proof whatsoever that it's aliens. Look, saying it emits its own light source. Well, they've only been able to look at it through telescopes that can see it from far, far away. So to us, it's just a glowing dot. All right, and it's basically going to continue to be a glowing dot, and unfortunately it's not going to come near Earth enough that we can actually do anything about it to really see up close what it is. I think they were talking about sending like New Horizon out to go have a look, but NASA was crying, saying we don't have the staff to man the ship to autopilot or whatever it over to the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course they have the money to do it. Saying that they don't have the funding for it's rubbish. You just need a dude operating the computer to tell the ship what to do. All right, the ship's already in space. It's already been launched years ago. Did its mission. Pretty sure they're not doing that. I think they were still going to crash that thing in a Saturn or something. I don't know. So I guess NASA doesn't see the point in looking at an interstellar object up close, but there you go. Yeah, I mean, all I can say is, and I'm not saying that New Horizon thing would even work. Like, there's a good chance it probably wouldn't, but it would have been worth a shot, in my opinion. Like, how many chances are we going to get to see something like that up close? Pretty much never. So, yeah, that's a bit unfortunate. I suppose we could point Hubble telescope at it and see if we could get a better look at it, but that thing's so old, I don't know, like maybe we need to build a new Hubble telescope, like a big one that, like, just like some uber giant Hubble telescope that can see objects like a camera. Obviously there's advantages to that. In this case, we'd probably be able to get a better picture of whatever it is, combine it with a bunch of other telescopes, and then that will give you a pretty good rendering of what it actually is. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's that. My predictions is it's from just a really large star. You might even be able to predict the size of the star from the comet and the speed of it, because if we assume that all objects around our star, all like comets of its size, orbit at around 42,000 kilometers an hour, and this one's, well, something like that, 37 to 42,000 kilometers an hour, I think something like that, on average. And this one's traveling at 67,000, then we can assume that the star that it came from is approximately 1/3 bigger than our star. That's how I would predict it. Mathematically, that's a rough estimate as to what you could be looking at. Obviously, there's no exact science in that, but yeah. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of people poo-pooing me in the comments. Poo-poo all you want. You don't know any more than I do, so yeah. Look, I think it'd be good if we can get some actual good camera footage of whatever it is. Like, if we got some good telescopes that can take some photos, and don't just say James Webb, okay? James Webb is specifically designed for looking at, other planets and galaxies and stuff, not necessarily for this. Only sees things in infrared. So infrared is only good for up to a certain point and does like good for certain things, but if you want to see what this comet is and get an actual picture of it, then you kind of need a regular camera. So like a camera like what I'm using to talk to you, like a normal camera, but it's just like an uber awesome camera. So yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for this video. Let us know what you think. Peace.